What's this about? Spying on our camp, huh? Well, leave them, boys. I'll deal with them. I said, I'll deal. Now go on. Get. See if there are any others out there. Better not hear another word out of any of y'all's mouths. Now go, before I grow impatient. You sit. Now you want to tell me what you're doing out here all by yourself? Don't matter how I know, just that I do. And I only sent my boys off to go looking for others because they ain't no help here. Can't see clearly when they're around. Besides, what's a little thing like you gonna do against me and my 6-shooter, huh? Even if you didn't have your hands tied behind your back, you aren't going anywhere soon, save for 6 feet under if you try to make a move. I'll ask you again, what are you doing here? And don't lie, I'll know. Look, we can sit here staring each other down till the crickets go quiet, but I ain't letting you off the hook. You best spin me a yarn, a good one, or else you're biting the dust. Looking for work and lost your horse? How original. If I were anyone else, I wouldn't believe you. But I'll tell you a secret, Greenhorn. I see things other people can't. Everything's got a frequency, you know, wave. And every person has an energy about them. Things they can't hide no matter how hard they try. Some people call them auras. I don't really care what they are, just that they tell me what I need to know. When a person lies, their energy flickers, loses color. Maybe flat out disappears if they're bad enough at lying. Yours doesn't so much as blink when you talk. That's how I knew you were alone. I don't just see it, I feel it. When I reach out, there's nothing beyond the camp aside from the little critters and my boys. I sent them out so we could have a proper conversation. And if all goes well, they'll be out for a while yet. Now think carefully about your answer to this next question. If I untie you, are you going to play nice? Well, I appreciate your honesty. Most people think I'm the liar when I tell them about my proclivities, and they just carry on fibbing. Truth is, it scares them, but I can tell it doesn't scare you. You know what fear looks like? It looks yellow. Not sunshine, dandelion yellow. It's sick and heavy, oppressive, and terror. Terror shoots out of people like arrows. You ain't got no yellow in your aura, bright, dull, or otherwise. No, you're mostly green. And it's not the good kind of green either. It's the grayish green of someone with a lot of guilt. The kind that's been hanging around a while. That's even more apparent now that I've pointed it out, now that you're thinking about it. Maybe it'll comfort you to know that all I can figure is how you feel, not what you've done. You might have done something real backwards and heinous, but I find most people are guilty for things that just aren't their fault. And judging from what else I see, it wasn't your fault. Changing the subject. Fair enough. I don't know that I can really answer your question, though. How I know what the colors mean? There's no book that describes what the colors signify, and no one taught me, that's for sure. I thought everyone could see them till I was nearly grown. Knew the basics, the way you're born knowing to breathe. But the subtleties, the way the energy swirls and mixes with the other colors, the differences between sky blue and periwinkle, that took a longer time to discern. Doesn't matter much, though. People don't like being told what they're feeling. Another good question. Mine, for some reason, I can only see in reflection. Can't tell exactly what it looks like right now, though there's always indigo in mine every time I look. And always the same amount. Just strange. It's the only color that don't ever waver. And I also only ever seen it in a couple other people. Because of that, I ain't exactly figured out what it means. but I reckon it's got something to do with things that us common folk don't understand. Something to do with the spirit, soul. I headed back east after this to the big cities, see if I can find any more people like me. What about you? Assuming I let you go. Gonna keep looking for work out here? May be the plan. The plans change. Your horse don't seem to want no part of it anyway. Just spooked, huh? You don't want an easily spooked horse out here, I tell you that. Safer being on foot than on a nervous horse. And you don't want to be alone out here neither. Best find another cowpoke like yourself to watch your back. Gotta sleep sometime, don't you? Speaking of, I'm gonna pour myself a cup of coffee. I'm the best security system this side of the Mississippi, but only if I'm awake. You want any? There you go. Lying. Thought you'd learned. You just don't want to accept anything from me, do you? How about this? If you promise not to give me any trouble, I'll untie you and give you the coffee in exchange. That way it's a deal. Neither of us owes the other. Sound good? Alright then, hold still and I'll cut you loose. And, as an act of good faith, I'll stash my steel. But no promises I won't go digging for it again if you flicker on me. Now, where's my spare mug? Here you are. That'll put a pep in your step, or give you heart palpitations at the very least. Better than that brown water James brews every morning. You can see the bottom of the mug even when it's full. Got another question for you, Greenhorn. What exactly made you so quick to believe me? A few people I've told about my abilities took a while to come around, if they ever did. Just gonna shrug. I know you're not particularly trusting, not the naive sort. See, people who are too trusting always have a soft pink hue about them. Tend to be fairly optimistic as well, and I know you're not that either. Can I tell you what else I see? I see indigo in you, kid. I see indigo. But it's hiding beneath all the green and the gray. Tell me, is there anything different about you? Something strange? Something you can't quite explain? No? Well, I beg to differ. See, you're not lying because you don't know any different. You can't tell the truth because you don't know the truth. Truth is, you got indigo, kid. Just like me. That's why I haven't let you go yet. You can leave. I won't stop you. You never wronged me, so I can't hold you here. But between you and me, we're not like everyone else. I know you're looking for answers the same way I am. You got magic in you, kid. Something inexplicable. You felt it, but you just couldn't put it into words. You started to wonder why, though. Why you were different. So you left home. You left people behind. And that's why you feel guilty, isn't it? But you had to. Don't go telling me you didn't. I can tell something pulled you out here. Maybe a feeling like a magnet. Faint at first, but the closer you get, the harder it tugs. Now correct me if I'm wrong. Every time you go looking for something, you feel that pull. When you lost your horse, that pull led you to here. And it was the same thing that pulled you away from home in the first place. Maybe it was pulling you towards me. Because you ain't never met no one like me, have you? No one like you? Do you still feel the pull now that you found your horse and you're sitting in front of me? You'll just have to think of something else to look for then. I reckon that's your power, being some sort of pathfinder. You set your mind to something, Dedicate yourself to the search, and the universe provides a path. I know we hardly know each other, and you ain't got no reason to trust me. But I trust you. I don't have no reason not to. So I think we ought to stick together. There's more like us out there, I know it. You know it. And hell, that's your power? Finding things, finding people? Wouldn't hurt to keep you around, kid. Who knows? We might make a good team. You show us the right path, and I'll keep us safe from the bad apples. I know you ain't tired, Greenhorn, but you might as well get comfy. Grab that fur hanging beside you. It should be dry by now. So what do you say? Want to rough it with me? Be a hell of a lot safer for you to stick with the troop than go wandering off on your own again. Why don't you think about it? You should stay the night at the very least and make the decision with a rested mind. Promise not to pull any tricks on you, Greenhorn. Just rest, alright? You're right. I never asked. But I don't want to know your name unless you're staying. Can't go getting attached to you now. A name is the first step into friendship. But you look like you want to tell me anyway. Go ahead then. Tell me your name. Fitting. I'm Cassidy Turner, but you can just call me Cass. You're about to pass out, kid. You can close your eyes. I ain't gonna let nothing harm you. Here, give me that coffee. You don't need none of that. You warm enough? Good. Go on, get some rest. I'll be right here in the morning. Good night, Greenhorn. Sleep well. Hello all, is Skandar here. Thank you very much for listening all the way to the end, as well as sitting through an extra 45 seconds of crickets and just fire noises. Second script, still learning a whole lot. Recorded this in 2 separate sessions. One, the initial record, and then a take 2 for certain parts. You can probably hear it, just I didn't quite replicate the original tone I used. And I also didn't want to go back and re-record it with the new tone, which I think fits better in at least some of the parts. But I think it also works pretty well with the way the cowboy sort of jumps around, I guess, in his feelings regarding the listener. Very hostile, very grouchy at the beginning, and opens up surprisingly quick, which... You know, I probably would too if I could read someone's intentions that way. There is no part 2 to this, unfortunately, as far as I'm aware. It certainly feels like there should or could be, but the author hasn't posted one, at least as of the last time I checked a couple days ago, and it's listed in a one-off section of their script archive. So, I would certainly like another part to this, just because it feels like the beginning of something rather than a full, satisfying story on its own. But we will see. Not really sure where it would go from here, but there's a reason I'm not a writer. But anyway, thank you again for coming. Got a bit settled since the last audio. Actually moved shortly after it went live, so that's why it's been over a month since between these two. But I'm going to aim for a once every 2 weeks schedule for now, and we'll see if I can keep up with that. But thank you so much for listening, and this is Skandar ASMR, once again, signing off.